Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 32 weeks pregnancy update. I'm actually a little bit closer to 33 weeks, so you guys are usually seeing these videos a little bit into the week. That way I can actually tell you what happened in that specific week. So according to the Bump app, the baby is the size of a squash. And instead of kind of doing what I've been normally doing and reading you guys some of the symptoms off of the Bump app right away, I wanted to go ahead and address either the title or the thumbnail of this video, as some of you who follow me on Instagram may already know, but some of you may not. We actually had a little bit of a scare this past week and ended up going to the hospital, to the emergency, I guess it's like the OB triage type of thing. And we spent a couple of hours in the hospital. So I wanted to go ahead and address that right away. That way you guys aren't wondering the whole video, like what in the world is going on with that. I'm still just not feeling all that great, and if my voice is a little bit raspy or annoying, then I apologize about that too. I'm just super exhausted from everything that's happened this past week. But I want to go ahead and tell you guys the story, so I will go ahead and just get right into it. So this past Sunday, I was having slightly stronger Braxton Hicks contractions that were accompanied by lower abdomen cramps and lower back, really bad back pain. Some of you guys may already know, I've had bad back pain this whole pregnancy, but they've never been in sync basically with either cramps or the Braxton Hicks contractions, and these definitely were. So this past Sunday, like I said, I started having those a lot, and they were just different. I could tell that they were different from all of the Braxton Hicks contractions that I've had in the past, since I've been having Braxton Hicks contractions maybe since around my 20 weeks. So I've been experiencing them a lot, and these were just very different. So Sunday I had them pretty much all day, and then Monday I started having them a lot more again, and I just tried to kind of take a nap through it, and eventually it just got to the point where it was this just does not feel right. So I called my husband, and he came and picked me up, and we went to the hospital where they basically assess you to see if you are in true labor. So we basically got a good practice run in. We did exactly what we would have done if I was actually in labor. We went to the hospital, went to what they call the Women's Assessment Center, or OB triage, and they checked us in, and I got in my gown and everything. They took a urine sample, and they hooked us up to the monitor to watch the baby's, or listen to the baby's heart rate. And the baby's heart rate the entire time we were there stayed pretty much, normal, average, around 146. But every time I had a contraction, the baby's heart rate jumped really high, and then if I would hold my breath, his heart rate would go down quite a bit. So we could tell that the contractions were definitely affecting him. And the machine that I was hooked up to was also monitoring my contractions. A lot of you guys may already know this type of thing, but it was also monitoring my contractions, so we could see on the paper that was printing out every single time I had a contraction, and it would basically spike up and then go back down. And then there was also a number associated with it, or at least I think that was what that was for. And a lot of the contractions that I had would max the machine out. So the machine, to what it looked like to us, basically would go up to all the way up to 100 every time I had, or pretty much every time I had a contraction. So they were definitely painful and strong contractions, and they happened really frequently while we were there. So like I said, as soon as we got there, they took a urine sample and they hooked me up to the monitors, and I changed into like a labor gown and everything. And the next thing that they did was they took a swab test, and it was called the Fetal Fibronectin test, and it's a test that basically detects whether or not you're in preterm labor, which I had no clue about this, and thought that that was like such an amazing thing that they could do. And the test basically tells you, it either gives you a negative or a positive. And if it gives you a positive, then that means that labor is probably near. And if you get a negative, it basically is saying that you're probably going to be safe for at least 2 more weeks. So that was a huge reassurance to know that that test came back as negative. What it does is I think it tests some sort of like fluid. I don't want to like try and go into details about it, but it basically tests like something in your, I think in your amniotic fluid, that will tell you whether or not the baby is close to, you're close to being in labor pretty much. And so apparently that fluid was not detected, and therefore we got the negative. I mean, the test is not 100% accurate, so there's a chance I could go into labor tomorrow still, but it's a very, very small chance, and they feel really good about the accuracy of this test. So we're crossing our fingers and praying to God that that test was accurate, and we have at least 2 more weeks, which would still be preterm, which that would be around 34 weeks, and that would still be preterm, and probably quite scary, but I'm just thanking God for every single day that passes by now. So after they did the swab test, they then did the IV to give me lots of fluids, and that way just to like make sure that I was plenty hydrated and everything, which I honestly don't believe that I was dehydrated or anything, but it couldn't hurt anything to just get more fluids. And they also gave me a, I think it's like a pain medication or some kind of muscle relaxant. It's called Nubane, and that was basically to help me relax and kind of get just a little bit of rest through these contractions. It wasn't like to stop the contractions, but it was basically just to like help me relax through them and not stress my body out anymore. At least that's what I took away from it. While I was there, obviously, they also checked to see if I was dilated any, and at that point I was actually dilated to about 1 centimeter, and this was on this past Monday, and then 2 days later I also had a doctor's appointment where she also checked me again, and I was still just at 1 centimeter, and that my cervix is still posterior, so that's all really good news. Like I said, we did have a doctor's appointment already scheduled for 2 days after the hospital visit, and so that was really good because this was an appointment to have a growth scan done where they measured the baby and everything, and we saw my doctor, and the baby is doing really, really well. His heart rate is still great. He's getting very big. His head is measuring in the 99th percentile, which is, I'm glad he's growing, but that's just not a fun thought to think about. And then they also said that he's weighing in around 4 pounds and 14 ounces. So he's right there next to 5 pounds. And that is just insane to me to think that he is already pretty much 5 pounds. And so he's basically measuring at what a 35-week baby would be measuring or would be weighing in around. The doctor, they were also able to see his position again, and his head is very, very low. So I think maybe that he's dropped, but I always thought that maybe like it would be a significant, I'd be able to tell like there'd be a significant difference in the way that my belly looked once he dropped. And I honestly feel like my belly doesn't really look any much different. So you guys let me know whenever I show you my belly at the end of this video. Let me know if you guys think that it looks like he's dropped at all. Because for one, like I said, they said his head is like very, very low. And for two, this past week, I have been able to breathe so much better. So I'm thinking that he has dropped. But while we were getting the ultrasound and everything done, and I was just kind of talking to the ultrasound tech about all of the contractions that we've been having and everything, she mentioned that because he is so big, that could be just one of the multiple reasons why my uterus is getting so irritated and I'm having the contractions. I mean, there are many, many reasons why that could be happening, but because of the fact that he is measuring big, and I have fibroids that I've mentioned to you guys about that have been growing a lot, and she actually detected a third fibroid that hasn't really bothered me, obviously, because I had no idea it was there, but it is also on the outside of my uterus. So now I have 3 fibroids, and apparently because I have those, that is another reason why my uterus could be getting just more irritated than the average person's uterus. So I've still, ever since the hospital and the doctor's appointment, I've still been having pretty frequent and strong contractions, but they haven't been accompanied by the lower abdomen cramps and the back pain. So if I am to experience that again, they want me to go back in and be reassessed and rechecked to see if I'm more dilated. Also, while I was at the doctor, they went ahead and gave me a steroid shot just to help to mature the baby's lungs. That way, if he does come early, it's just kind of as a precaution, and it will help his, like I said, it'll help his lungs mature. So I got one of those yesterday, and then I'm gonna go back today and get the second round of it. And that's all I have to get to just make, you know, to help reassure that the baby's lungs are developing at kind of more of a rapid rate. So the steroid shot itself didn't really hurt, but when they injected the medication in, it was kind of just like, it freaked me out a little bit because the medication is like very thick, and they warned me about it and everything. They said like, this might be a little bit painful and everything because the medication is thick. So it kind of shocked me a little bit when they injected the medication, and I have to go back today and get another one. So, you know, it's just been a really, really crazy week. And like I said, I apologize for this video if I seem like I'm just like completely like drained and stuff. It's because I am, and I've been trying my best to just take it like really, really easy, and, you know, just trying to keep this baby boy in here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. I guess I'll go through really quickly and tell you guys some of the symptoms that the bump app says that I should have had this past week. And let's see, so the bump app says that I should be having more Braxton Hicks contractions, which obviously this was a major topic for this this update. It says darker nipples, and I honestly don't feel like that's really the case for me this past week. They've kind of remained the same. Shortness of breath, like I said, I honestly think that the baby may have dropped because I don't feel like I'm super short of breath like I have been in my past couple of updates that I've mentioned to you guys. I mean, I'm a little bit out of breath right now because I'm talking so much and I'm exhausted. Heartburn. I still have not had heartburn, guys. Oh, but I did want to mention that they also, in this growth scan that we had, I mentioned it to you guys in our, when I told you about our 3D ultrasound that we had at 30 weeks, that they said that he has hair. Well, they confirmed it at this appointment that he does have hair. And they said that it looks like it's like a little bit wavy almost. So I'm very confused like how it's wavy because I have really straight hair. My husband has straight hair, but I do think that he might have had slightly curly hair when he was little. So I need to go back and look at his pictures, but I was just like, I thought that was so crazy that they could tell us that he has hair already. And then enlarged breasts that may leak. Yes, I've had a lot of leakage this past week. And vaginal discharge. I know, guys, some of you watching this may like not want to hear about these types of things, but yes, vaginal discharge has been, I've had a lot more this past week. Okay, well, so I'm sure this video was probably way too long and I'm out of breath and I'm just like, I need to like get some more rest. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for me. It helps out my channel a lot. And I really, really appreciate any of you guys who had reached out to us and said a prayer for us or anything. You know, I love you guys. You guys have been so, so awesome. And it was very sweet to like hear from some of you guys. So anyways, I'll go ahead and show you guys my baby bump now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.